Deep inside K-pop's cutthroat scene, the underdog fantasy is the biggest lie they sell. We've been fed this script for ages. If you've got skills, grit, and sweat, you'll make it. They swore that hard work was the only thing you really needed. 16-hour practice days, cramped bunks, starving yourself, all for that vow. Just bleed enough for it and the spotlight is one day truly yours. It wasn't just a sweet story, it was the emotional hook keeping us addicted and those kids dreaming. Yet, lurking under the glossy docs and slick reality TV cuts, a much darker shadow game has been running the whole show truly. Nepo connections didn't just invade K-pop. They've been here as long as the scene, just like in film, politics, and business. The catch, K-pop aggressively sells the illusion of fairness to every single fan watching. When fame is sold as a prize, anyone can win secret ties, stop being invisible, and start feeling like a massive cold betrayal. That hypocrisy is why Nepo babies hurt more here than anywhere. Fans aren't just buying songs, they're soul deep invested in the fantasy that you actually earned your spot. For a long time, every attempt to expose nepotism was shut down immediately. Mentioning family ties or elite roots was treated like a personal attack on an idol's talent or work history. Talks never went deeper than pure defense or denial, but that silence is finally cracking. Fans are spotting clear patterns that can't be explained by just luck or hustle alone. Who gets infinite free passes? Who stays safe in scandals? Who debuts smoothly while others vanish with absolutely zero warnings? K-pop isn't just about vocals or choreography. It's about access. Access to fame, patience, industry, favor, and forgiveness. Nepotism doesn't always look loud or obvious now. Sometimes it's low-key wrapped in fake hype or framed as pure luck, and the ugly truth is that not everyone begins from the same starting line. Some idols are born closer to the lens, the mic, and the big bosses, while the system quietly adjusts around them, dear friends. If you want to really get how this hidden edge is reshaping K-pop from the inside, hang tight. Be sure to subscribe, follow the channel, and get ready to watch, because this wild story is only just beginning to heat up, babe. When folks hear nepotism in K-pop, they usually picture the obvious type idols who are kids of famous singers or producers. And yeah, those royal industry bloodlines are definitely real and thriving. These are idols raised in studios, surrounded by contracts and talks of charts and comebacks long before they ever audition, believe me. By the time they enter a trainee system, they already understand how the machine works, what mistakes to avoid, and how to survive public scrutiny. That kind of early exposure is a privilege most trainees can't even comprehend. But in K-pop, being born into the industry is a double-edged sword. Unlike Hollywood, where famous last names are often celebrated, K-pop fandom is built on the fantasy of extreme meritocracy. Fans want to believe their favorite idol earned every second of screen time through pain and perseverance. So when an idol debuts with a recognizable surname or a well-known family connection, suspicion follows immediately. There's an unspoken belief that someone else, a trainee with nothing but raw hunger, lost their chance because of that connection. These idols often enter top-tier companies with doors already open, but once inside, the pressure multiplies. Every mistake is magnified. Every weak performance is blamed on privilege rather than inexperience. They're expected to be exceptional just to be considered acceptable. While a family name might secure a debut, it doesn't guarantee fan loyalty, chart success, or endurance on stage. In fact, the scrutiny can be so intense that it becomes its own kind of prison. Still, none of this changes the core issue. Access matters. Being familiar to executives, producers, or investors creates a safety net that other trainees simply don't have. It doesn't mean these idols don't work hard because K-pop is too unforgiving for anyone to coast completely, but it does mean the starting line isn't the same. And once you see that difference, it becomes impossible to unsee how quietly it shapes who gets to stay and who gets filtered out before the public ever notices. Beyond famous last names, there's a quieter and far more powerful form of privilege reshaping K-pop right now: corporate-adjacent nepotism. These aren't idols whose parents were on stage. These are idols whose families sit in boardrooms, executive offices, or are tied directly to the conglomerates that quietly control sponsorships, media access, and brand pipelines. This is where the industry stops feeling like a creative battlefield and starts resembling a closed economic ecosystem. When someone with deep corporate ties enters the trainee system, the rules subtly change around them. Agencies see them as low-risk assets. They come with built-in stability connections to luxury brands and social capital that can fast-track endorsements and press coverage. While a regular trainee spends years fighting for a single photoshoot or cameo, these idols debut already wrapped in prestige, not because of public demand, but because the infrastructure is already in place. This shift fundamentally alters the promise K-pop was built on. The genre sold itself as a space where grit could overcome circumstance. But when trainees linked to conglomerates or major shareholders skip the line, the dream collapses. It sends a quiet but devastating message to everyone else in the practice room. Your talent might be real, but it's still optional if someone richer is waiting. Fans feel this disconnect even if they can't always name it. The industry starts to feel polished but hollow, less like a cultural movement and more like a corporate inheritance project. When the stage becomes a playground for the elite, the hunger that once powered K-pop fades. And without that hunger, the music loses the edge that made it resonate globally in the first place. Alongside corporate insiders, another layer of privilege has been quietly taking over the K-pop ecosystem: elite class nepotism. These are idols born into extreme generational wealth where financial security isn't a concern but a permanent condition. Long before auditions, they've already trained in private academies, studied under top-tier instructors, and lived in environments designed to cultivate confidence, polish, and global appeal. By the time they enter an agency, they aren't just prepared, they're optimized. This creates an uncomfortable imbalance inside groups. While all idols endure the same schedules and public pressure, not all of them face the same risks. For elite class trainees, failure doesn't mean returning to nothing. There's always a safety net waiting off stage. That knowledge subtly changes power dynamics both within teams and between idols and companies. When someone knows they can walk away without consequences, the struggle becomes performative rather than existential. The danger is what this does to the soul of K-pop. The industry once thrived on underdog stories, trainees sleeping in cramped dorms, families sacrificing everything for a chance at survival. Those narratives gave fans a sense of shared struggle. But when rookie idols debut already dressed in luxury, backed by global brands, that emotional connection fractures. It becomes harder to believe in the journey when the destination was never in doubt. As more elite background idols enter the scene, raw talent without resources gets priced out. Scouts stop looking for hunger and start looking for refinement. Diversity shrinks. The music becomes safer, cleaner, and less urgent. And slowly, the genre shifts from a reflection of ambition to a showcase of inherited advantage. The most calculated expression of nepotism in modern K-pop isn't loud and it isn't accidental. It's the soft launch. This is where privilege stops being abstract and becomes a deliberate strategy. While ordinary trainees spend years hidden in practice rooms hoping for a few seconds of screen time, certain idols are quietly introduced to the public long before their official debut. They appear in vlogs, dance challenges, brand events, or casual mentions connected to already established stars. Their rise feels natural, almost accidental, but that illusion is exactly what makes it so effective. Soft launches remove the most dangerous part of an idol's career: uncertainty. By the time these idols officially debut, they already have pre-built fan bases, media familiarity, and an unspoken layer of protection. The curtain rises not on a battle, but a coronation. It's a VIP party for careers bought in the dark, not fought for in the light. When the stage is gifted, the hunger dies and the soul of K-pop begins to rot away. The edge goes way beyond the lights. It speeds up prizes, deals, and applause at a rate that feels totally severed from grit or actual desire from the very hungry streets. When green acts grab huge titles in mere weeks, the crowd isn't just shocked, they feel played. The galas stop looking like parties for art and start looking like coronation rites for the chosen ones who were forever set up to take the prize. As sections silently mix or rules turn soft, it reveals exactly how far the powers will stretch to guard their chosen outcome. The wound isn't just in the frame, it is in the soul. Gifted stars from tiny spots and unknown labels fade out, not for lack of fire, but for lack of shielding. The crowd turns cold and bitter. The conviction that grind matters starts to rot, and once that trust is gone, the wild spark between idols and fans dies out. It becomes glossy but empty, a genre where the big win is handed over instead of scraped for hard. It's not just a biz pivot, it's a siren screaming. When keys are handed out freely, art rots. When safety nets kill the crave, the beats lose their sharp teeth. And when the crowd quits buying the trip, zero logos or fancy shots can rescue the fable that this machine is trying to peddle. If you have stuck around this long, the writing is on the wall. We aren't dragging the stars personally, we are grilling a regime that is silently changing the code. Spill your hot takes in the chat right now. Is this killing the scene, or is it just the fresh vibe? If this deep dive hit home, smash that heart, join the squad, and ring the alarm. Keep it locked, because this drama is far from done, and part 2 is going to get way wilder and way deeper than you ever thought possible.